How important is a model release? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up you guys? Nick here. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Nick. I'm a professional photographer. I've been shooting professionally for the last 3 years, and I've had a camera in my hand for the last 16 as I started as a hobbyist back in high school. For those of you who are joining me for another video, thank you guys again so much. I do want to let everyone know that this isn't really the normal format. I like to have a little more original B-roll in every one of the videos that I do, but because of the lockdown restrictions and everything going on in Colorado right now, we are going to be doing some of the videos that I probably should have been making for a while now, but got caught up in doing shoots and doing videos that were a little more hands-on and a little more camera reviewy. But today I want to talk about how important a model release form is. I've been seeing a lot of traction on this and a lot of people bringing this subject up lately on the online forums that I'm on and on the Facebook pages I am on. So let's kind of go in and discuss what a model release is, what the purpose of it is, and whether or not you should have one. But before we get into that, make sure you check out this new piece of merch. It's got a bunch of little cameras on it. And the link for this will actually be down in the description below. It's available on more than just this t-shirt. I've got available in a lot of different areas. But now that I've plugged my merch, let's talk about the model release form. So what is a model release form? The basis is a model release form is basically the model signing that they agree that you own the photos that you take. In the United States at least, any photo that you take with your camera that isn't done through contract, like if you're working for a company or using a company camera, you own the copyright to. Basically what you're doing with a model release is you're letting the model know that you do in fact own the copyright to the images that you take. A model doesn't own their likeness, but the photographer does own the photos. So in my model release form, it very clearly states that the copyright of the photos and the content created belong to me to do with them as I please. So I can publish them in a magazine, I can publish them online, I can edit them, and I can make changes to the photos that I took. What it also states is that the client or model cannot make changes to the photos, they do not own the photos, and they cannot use them for monetary gain. Now, I do have a model release that allows them to use them for monetary gain, and I also have another one that I use when a model wants to purchase the rights to the photos. But right now, I want to kind of keep it simple and talk about a model release in general. So the model release form literally can be 1 or 2 pages. Mine is 2 pages long, and it's got some blank spots, and it's just a bunch of legal speak stating that I own the photographs, I own the images that were created, and I own the copyrights to those, and there are certain rules and obligations that the model has to follow or the client has to follow. In one of the ones that I use pretty regularly, I make it very clear that the client or model cannot modify the image in any way, so they can't remove a watermark. If I used watermarks, we'll plug that video up there. They cannot crop it, and they cannot add filters to the image or edit it in any way after I've sent it to them. Now, I do have a clause in my agreements with a client or model that if they want a picture cropped for Instagram, to let me know and I can crop that image for them. If they don't like an edit, they're free to contact me and have me change those edits. And this is especially true with paying clients. As you guys can see from this image here and this image here, that my editing style varies greatly, and a lot of people approach me for that editing style, but they don't always like the exact results they get. So if they want any changes made, I do ask that they let me know, and I can re-edit it more to their liking, because really it's a mutual benefit thing. And yes, every model that's shown up in any of the B-roll that I've shown, including the B-roll that I'm showing in this video, has signed one of these release forms, basically stating that I own the video, I own the photos, and I own the copyright to all that. It's just reiterating what is legally already there, and it protects you so that no one can claim that they didn't know or they didn't have any idea or try to play the ignorance card, which doesn't generally work in copyright cases, but it's still there to protect you and to protect your work. But with the models that I work with them a lot. And there aren't very many that are willing to go on video for every single one of my little shoots that we do and show up in all my YouTube videos. So I take the relationship I have with those models a step further. I don't publish any images that would be unflattering to them. So before I publish anything on social media, even though the contract states I can publish whatever I want, I run all the photos by the model and ask them what they think of them. If there's any photos they don't want published or any photos they don't want put online or on, Facebook or in a magazine, I will respectfully decline submitting those images to be published or publishing them myself in my portfolio to create that working relationship. Just because the letter of the law says I can do it doesn't mean I will do it. It's a mutual kind of respect thing, but I still have that contract there to make sure that they are informed that I do in fact own all the rights. And I know that that can sound kind of assholey. Yeah, I own the rights. I can publish whatever I want. But again, as we've talked about in my photographer etiquette video, is your reputation depends a lot on word of mouth. Your ability to gain more clients and gain more models and work with more people depends on word of mouth. And if you have a bad reputation, people aren't going to want to work with you. So you're walking a fine line between I own the copyright and I want to make sure that the model feels flattered. Now in the release I'm working on currently and going through, I am adding that if they publish a photo that I took, they do have to tag me if they publish it online, whether it is on Facebook or Instagram, they do have to tag my main photography page so that I get credit for it, and the trade-off of that is no watermarks. So you know how much I hate watermarks and I think they're absolutely the worst. The trade-off with that is I do require that clients and models tag me when they post them online, and I own the copyright, so I can request that of them to give me credit for that. And we talked a bit about this in the watermark video, and if I haven't linked it already, I'll link it right up there. Now there are a lot of free resources online for you to get a basic modeling release form, and those are decently good. You can pay someone to do it for you. Those ones are a little bit better. I paid for mine to be done, and then I've modified it with the person I paid for it with in order to encompass more areas. So when I do boudoir shoots, which again is pretty rare and I only do them in certain packages and only do it for pay, I'm going to start offering to sell the rights to those images because of, advents in like OnlyFans accounts and things along those lines. So if I'm doing something that is really intimate like that, or that a client might want to use on a website like that, they can legally profit from it, and I was able to get some profit out of it as well. When I do sell the rights, I sell the raw images themselves, so I will send them the raw images. I kind of wash my hands of it. I have my contract stating that they own the rights to the images, and it's pretty expensive. It's not really a cheap plan. I do have some clauses we're trying to work out where if someone wants to profit off of an image that I took off them, that I would get a percentage of those profits, and it's a whole mess of legal speak and legal work and a lot of complications. So if you end up getting into that area, definitely consider hiring someone. It makes it a lot easier to get through it all. But the point is try to stick with a simple model release to start. Just say, I own the rights to these photos, they're my photos, legally speaking, and copyright-wise, I own them. Here's how you can use them, here's how you can't use them, and here are any modifications you can make to them if you're willing to allow the client or model to make modifications to the images that you took. I personally do not, because I did that at one point in time and the editing looked bad, and they got a bunch of comments about how terrible the photo was. And again, reputation and word of mouth are so important in this industry in order to succeed and expand your business. So the main question is, are modeling releases important in 2020? Absolutely they are. Definitely get one if you start photographing people. If you're doing landscape or cityscape or anything like that, it's not a big deal. But if you're going to be taking photos of other people, if you're going to do client work, if you're going to work with models, get a model release form. It'll save you a lot of headache, some litigation. I mean, like I said before, I have had to send a cease and disorder letter before, but it's only happened once. I don't really work with a lot of models though. I mostly work with clients, and a lot of times clients just want the photos so that they can print them out and put them in their photo album or post them online. So the filter issue really plays a role in that. I'm pretty lenient on a lot of things. If someone contacts me to make an edit, again, I will edit it for them. So definitely look into finding at least a modeling release template. It looks something that'll look professional, something that is professional, something that you can stay, you did inform the model that you in fact own the rights and the copyrights to that image. So I want to thank you guys again so much for joining me. Again, this is a little bit of a different video than normal. We're going to start going into some of these style of videos just because of the situation with everything in Colorado and the fact that I can't really get out too much more to work with any models. I do have a couple of shoots lined up in December. social distancing and masks will be taken into account for those. But please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you enjoyed it. All my social medias will be down below. You're welcome to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. You can hit me up on there. I always message back. If you leave a comment, I will reply to the comment. And don't forget, we have some pretty cool merch out now. So I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye!